Hello, this is Alexis Cooper. Welcome to BIMS Bites. The deep ocean is home to many animals, but resources can be scarce. What do these deep sea dwelling creatures eat to survive and thrive? All questions will be answered today as we bite into whale falls. On the depths of the sea floor, there are many animals that live and thrive. Much of the nutrients supplied to these benthic creatures comes from particles of sinking organic material. We call this marine snow. Though this sustains the animals below, sometimes a once-in-a-lifetime feast will come around in the form of a whale fall. Whale falls occur after a whale dies and has sunk to the abyssal zone, one of the deepest and darkest parts of the ocean, about 4,000 to 6,000 meters deep. To put that into perspective, that would be about 20 Eiffel Towers on top of one another. Much of this zone is undiscovered to humans due to its deepness. Once a whale has sunk into the area, scavenging can occur for decades. Whale falls bring in an array of animals from far and wide at different stages of the whale's decomposition. Whale falls add on to the ocean's food chain during this time because they benefit so many organisms. In the North Pacific alone, whale falls support over 12,000 organisms and 43 species. There has been evidence of whale falls since 1854. Zoologists and other researchers would recover whale bones and find new species of mussels and other mollusks adhered to them. A sound discovery wasn't made until 1987, when oceanographers from the University of Hawaii used remotely operated vehicles and saw a whale skeleton buried in the sediment surrounded by other living organisms. In 1992, these oceanographers would perform an experiment by using 3 whale carcasses that washed ashore and sinking them back into the ocean. They would observe the whales they placed for the next 8 years, along with the carcass found in 1987 and another in 1995. Through this research, they figured out the stages of a whale fall. Whale falls create an entire ecosystem and can be labeled in 3 stages. The first stage is the mobile scavenger stage. During this time, larger animals like hagfish, rat-tailed fish, and sleeper sharks come to eat the flesh from the whale. This process can last from 4 months to 2 years, depending on the size of the whale. By the time the mobile scavengers have their fill, all that is left is bones and organic matter that has been buried in the sediment. The rat-tailed fish has fully adapted to life in the abyssal zone. It has large eyes to help it see the faintest of lights in an ocean of darkness. They also have a strong sense of smell for rotting carrion. This would certainly help it find the feast of a whale fall. Hagfish are a jawless, boneless, and slime-producing animal, and normally the first on sight to a whale fall. Hagfish use their circular mouths to bore holes into their prey and eat them from the inside out. Hagfish can also tie their bodies into knots so it can provide them extra torque. The Muse octopus are also some of the first on the scene to a whale fall. This species of octopus is mainly found in the deep ocean. One interesting fact about the Muse octopus is that they lack an ink sac. Enrichment opportunists make up the next stage. Animals like mollusks, crustaceans, and worms will search for waste or debris of any kind that has sunk into the sediment. This waste can also be called detritus and can be made of rotting plants, decaying animals, and even feces. Enrichment opportunists may do this for up to 2 years. The Osidax worm, more commonly known as the zombie worm or bone-eating worm, bore holes into the whale's bones. They do this because they use the lipids inside the bones as nutrients. Osidax worms were first discovered in 2002 on a whale fall. When feeding in large groups, the Osidax worms can look like a carpet adhered to the bones. The ruby spear snail, also known as the bone-eating snail, was first discovered on a whale fall. Studies have shown that one species of the ruby spear snail solely rely on the whale falls for food. The self-fulfilling stage is the longest running stage, lasting from 10 to 50 years or more. During this time, bacteria infiltrates the bones of the whale carcass and breaks down the lipids to sulfides. These sulfides leach into the surrounding water and create energy for other organisms to grow and thrive. This creates a better quality of life for other living things like bacteria, mussels, and tube worms. More than 30,000 organisms can sometimes be found on a single skeleton. So why should any of this matter to us? Not only do whale falls benefit the benthic marine community, but they also benefit people. Many new organisms have been discovered in the presence of whale falls. Researchers have described over 400 species that are living on or around whale falls, at least 30 of them not being seen elsewhere. These organisms eating the whales also keep the floor of the abyssal zone clean. Imagine the sheer amount of whale carcasses that would line the floor if these organisms did not make use of it. So if you've ever wondered what happens to the whale once its long life comes to an end, where does it go? Or how are these benthic marine creatures getting enough food to sustain life? I hope these answer it. Please check out some of the other great BIMS Bites and BIMS Bites Kids videos and subscribe to our channel. This is Alexis, signing off.